All right, all right, all right. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome in. You found us once again. Shoot the Gap, the Rabbit Hole Fantasy Football Focus Show, here to help you to be gruntled with your fantasy football team and your fantasy football decisions. I am Brian the Amigo Baldwin. I am so honored that you have allowed me to be part of your fantasy football journey. Thank you so much for joining. All right, so we are in week 17. Yeah, week 17. This is it. Championship. I know that there's some degenerates out there that play till week 18, but that's dumb. Okay, if you're doing that, if you're in a league that's doing that, talk to your commissioner and say, hey man, that's dumb. And if you are a commissioner that's doing it, I'm talking to you directly. Hey man, that's dumb. Okay, fix that. All right, week 17, championship week. This is our 186th show, December the 30th. Yeah, so this is our last show of 2023. I think I'm going to have one more show to kind of wrap up the season. And Shoot the Gap actually goes with the football off season. I mean, so whenever our fantasy football off season. So when it ends, we go ahead and we go quiet until there's things that pop. But that's why it makes it real important that if you enjoy the show, okay, I'm gonna ask you, watch the show. Okay, and if you enjoy it, and you enjoy the content that I'm providing, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe, and make sure and click that bell, because I will be doing shorts throughout the off season whenever the news pops. Sorry, and to talk to you about how to strategize for that, coming up with like the best quarterbacks, the sneaky quarterbacks, running back, wide receiver, help you strategize to get ready for your draft. So there's so much going on. I mean, the off season happens. We don't do a show every week as we normally do, but whenever things pop, I do talk about it. So make sure and hit that bell, because you're going to want to get notices. Because anytime you see our show pop up, then you know that something happened. All right, so this is the last minute start sit show for week 17, and so let's go ahead and let's just jump into the middle of it. All right, let's just go ahead and talk about all the like the meat, I should say. I said the middle. Let's go ahead and just talk about the middle, the meat. Did it again. The ins and outs. Let's talk about the ins and outs. People that are in and players that are out. So what's out is, and let's just kind of briefly just say how it affects things. Trevor Lawrence is out. So if you've been watching the show, you know what I think about his backup, CJ Beathard, but I pronounce it beat hard, okay, to kind of keep yourself focused, okay, that now that CJ Beathard is in, Ridley, dude, I can't trust Ridley. You can't trust Zay Jones. You can't I guess you could trust ETN, because you're always going to put that guy in there, because they're going to have to try to score somehow. But these Jags, man, they are falling. They were once pumping and like the on course to be the to win the division. Now they're just falling. Trevor Lawrence is hurt. I mean, it's not good, man. So yeah, so I would we'll be talking about specific positions soon, but I will be, but just let you know how it affects. Then that downgrades Waddle, or downgrades Ridley. Jalen Waddle is downgraded to out. Okay, so Hill's going to be, I mean, I'm more worried about Hill now without Waddle than I was with Waddle. A couple of reasons. First of all, now it's they're going to be playing a very tough defense, okay, in Baltimore, and then also who now is going to be focusing 100% on Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is already gimpy, all right, and bottom line, the Dolphins have already clinched the playoffs. They're trying for the number one spot. If it gets to the point where it gets out of the hand, you know that. Baltimore jumps on them pretty early, I could see them pulling back Tyreek Hill, but he wouldn't want it. You wouldn't want that, I know that. But they have to focus on the Super Bowl. So yeah, that's not good news for Hill. It's terrible news for Tua. Hopefully you weren't even. I mean, spoiler alert: don't start Tua. So, but hopefully you're not needing to depend on him. But if you are, whew, I would look for pivots. Keenan Allen is out. Josh Palmer's out. Keenan Allen's probably shut down. I mean, I've been saying this for weeks, but it looks like they are doing what I assumed, which is they're going to be shutting him down for the year. Cortland Sutton is out. Okay, that's huge. That's huge. Okay, now you already know about the Russell Wilson being being benched. All right, so Sutton being out is kind of a good thing because now it doesn't tempt you to play him because you probably would have because he did so well. I think every wide receiver option is off the table for the Broncos, but yeah, Cortland Sutton definitely. Hollywood Brown's out, so that actually is a good thing for Michael Wilson. It's a good thing for Greg Dortch, and it's a good thing for Trey McBride. Okay, so it's not a bad thing for Kyler Murray. I mean, Kyler Murray's been doing great, been doing as well as he's doing now without Hollywood, so he'll be fine. They're probably going to shut him down for the rest of the year. Zach Moss is out, so that's good because it keeps you from doing the temptation of starting him. Jonathan Taylor is fine. Darnell Mooney is out, so that's actually really good for the Atlanta defense. Yeah, I mean, if you watched the last show and I did a Merry Christmas to the Atlanta Falcons defense, yeah, well, this now strengthens it even more. Chris Rodriguez is out, so that's neither here nor there because Brian Robinson Jr. and Antonio Gibson are still good. Michael Mayer's out. That's no count. Same thing with Juju and Kadarius Toney. Doubtful is Josh Jacobs and Christian Watson and Luke Musgrave. I know you talked to you about that. But Josh Jacobs, dude, this is just this is such a blessing. This situation of all. This one in Seattle are the only backfields I can think of, and Atlanta, I guess you would say, that if the starter got hurt, then you could just plug in the other guy, and everything will be fine. All right. So Josh Jacobs hurt, plug in Zamir White. They're playing against Indianapolis. Zamir White. This guy could win the championship for you. He really could, especially if you're going against Josh Jacobs and you have Zamir White. That's a little but we'll see what happens there. Everybody's different. Christian Watson, that just makes Romeo Doubs and mainly Jaden Green. Yeah, Jalen Green. Or Reed. Excuse me, Reed. Jaden Reed. Sorry. Yeah, he's the guy that this really helps out the most. So that's basically there. That's all you can say about that. Romeo Doubs. I know he did fine last week. I still don't believe in him. He's just too inconsistent, and he burned me way too many times. So that's where that's coming from. All right. In is C.J. Stroud, Brock Purdy, and Elijah Mitchell. Of course, I already talked about Brian Robinson, and I mentioned Jaden Reed. He's in, so that's a fantastic thing. Questionable. These are weird. These guys are questionable. You know what? I'm going to say questionable enough. I think that they're going to play, just to give you an opinion. All right, but questionable. Jamar Chase. Holy mackerel! The guy that was supposed to be done for weeks he's limited. Right. I'm hoping he doesn't play. They'll probably. I say he doesn't play. Isaiah Pacheco and CEH. Let's go to Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire plays. I don't think Pacheco plays. If they do, it's irresponsible. These guys, Kansas City, still have a little bit of a good lead for the division. So they're playing against a softer matchup when Cincinnati. So they could do fine as long as Clyde Edwards-Helaire gets over his sniffles. So because he's sick, that's all it is. He's sick, but he should play. So I'm thinking Pacheco out, Helaire in. If that's not what it is, I'm just giving you an entertaining guess right now. Yeah, Kenneth Walker, illness and shoulder. He's questionable. I'm thinking he's going to go ahead and play. Zay Flowers, he's going to play. Jacoby Brissett's going to play. Zay Jones. I guess he's, it doesn't matter. Say that, it doesn't matter. Cole Kmet is questionable. Wandell Robinson, Hunter Henry, Dontavian Wicks, Marvin Mims. All these guys are ones that you're not really going to be playing anyway unless you're in a pinch. Hunter Henry is probably the only one out of that group that I would think about that might be a starter considering his situation. But hopefully you can pivot to something else. If you've gotten this far without Hunter Henry, I think you have something good. So no worries there. Here's ones that are questionable that look like they're going to play. Puka Nacua, Kyler Murray, Michael Pittman, Jordan Addison, Alvin Kamara, DK Metcalf is a game time decision. Now, I do want to talk about Metcalf and Kamara real quick. I'm thinking that they are going to play. The only concern I would have is that these guys are sick. And if you've been playing for a while, you remember last year during the playoffs, Stephon Diggs, same situation. Wasn't feeling well. Wasn't feeling well. Wasn't feeling well. Gonna go ahead and play, and he didn't play like he was feeling well. Okay, so yeah, it kind of burns you. It kind of burns you. So I would not. If you have to depend on these guys, DK Metcalf, Alvin Kamara, then yeah, they're worth a chance of rolling. But yeah, I'm not expecting much. I would say that out of all of those two, Metcalf and Kamara, I trust Kamara the most because the head coach already said they're expecting him to play. Metcalf, who has a coach that is the forever optimist, and Pete Carroll, who always kind of just errs on the side of optimism, right? Said that he's going to be a game time decision, so that's more scary for me. All right, so hopefully that just kind of lets you know what's going on and give you some thoughts if you should be worried or nervous about certain players. So, all right, so let's go ahead and let's move on to why you're here. Okay, the Week 14 start sit. Let's start with the quarterbacks. Okay, so here are the quarterbacks that are easy to that you don't even have to worry about. All right, so you shouldn't be thinking about being worried about starting them or not. Okay, Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Brock Purdy, Matthew Stafford, and let's see, yeah, you have to put in Patrick Mahomes, right? Because I mean, if you made it to the championship, okay, with him, great. But if you're playing like me, you're playing just to have fun or to make sure you don't get the last place trophy, or making sure that you just want to end on a high note, then you're playing him anyway. If it's for nothing, if it is for something, I would say that Patrick Mahomes, that this would be the time that he's going to bounce back. But we've been saying that for months now, and it hasn't happened. It's always been just kind of meh performances. These next guys, I would start over Patrick Mahomes if I was in a championship matchup. Hopefully, you started Joe Flacco. By the way, all right. I mean, I know that will happen on Thursday, but I just want to mention it that my wife is in the championship game. She had a choice between Tua and Flacco, and she chose Flacco, even though while we're doing, she does she was on the radio show on Thursday. Hopefully you check that out. That's Drive Time Sports with Charlie and Brian on the High Volume Music Radio app and the website. But hopefully you check that out on Thursday. But news came through. Amari Cooper was out, and she's like, you know what? I'm staying with Flacco, and boy was she rewarded. So these are the decisions you have to make, man. You can't look at big names. You got to look at trends. So Jared Goff. Yeah, I think Goff is going to do well against Dallas. They're going to need to throw. I think he's going to do fine. I mean, even if they cover Amon-Ra St. Brown, considering that Dallas is pretty strong against the slot, they have Sam Laporta, which we'll be talking about him later. But yeah, Jared Goff, I think is going to be a good start. Baker Mayfield against New Orleans. Okay, he again. This is one of those things. He's starting to look at his trends. His trends are really good. His trends are really, really good. All right, but he's going against a strong defense. So I would start him because trends are king right now. Two things are king right now in the playoffs, everybody. Trends and matchups. Those are the two things. Oh, and weather. So three things. Yeah, and we'll be talking about the weather. You know what? I'll do that at the end. Yeah, let me go ahead and finish the quarterbacks, but there is some weather to talk about. So let me go ahead and make sure and put a reminder to after I'm finished with the defenses that I talked to you about the weather. Okay, I see CJ Stroud, I think he's going to be a very, very strong start. I would definitely start him over Patrick Mahomes. Against Tennessee, it's at home, and I'm in Houston, so and I can tell you that the Texans are pissed. They are pissed at the Titans, even though they beat them in Tennessee after they did that deplorable move of putting on the Houston Oilers uniforms to cause further pain to Houston Texans fans, and then putting that logo on their field, which they have no claim to that legacy, no claim to that history. Just because you move the franchise, it should stay with the city. That's what the Ravens did. The Ravens, they left all the history of the Browns in Cleveland. The Tennessee, man, first of all, you should be called Nashville Titans. All right, should be do that first. And anyway, point is that is that the Texans are mad, and C.J. Stroud is going to be coming out hard. He wants to play. They need the win to help for their playoff push. I think that C.J. Stroud's going to be awesome. Kyler Murray, I think, is going to be great against Philadelphia. Philadelphia, man, their offense, their defense, you just can't. You can throw on them. And Darius Slay isn't practicing. Looks great for Kyler Murray. Derek Carr against Tampa Bay, another one. The trends. The trends are showing, and it's a great matchup. Perfect. Yeah, so Derek Carr, I think, is a great setup. Jordan Love against the Packers. He's an okay start. Okay, he's an okay start. I would not be excited to do that. It's a good matchup indoors, but he's not going to have Christian Watson. And that Minnesota defense has looked like they've kind of popped up a little bit. However, they could be taxed with starting a rookie at quarterback, Tyrod Taylor. Let's move on. Tyrod Taylor against the Rams. He's starting over Tommy DeVito. I would not. No, I would sit him. We already mentioned Tua. Yeah, sit him. He's in a bad situation. Waddle is out. Hill's back to banged up. Strong defense. Tua doesn't do well against strong defenses. It just doesn't look good overall. And they're in Baltimore, which is a warm weather team, playing in the cold, which is always a concerning setup. Geno Smith. Yeah. How about this? Yeah, against Pittsburgh in Seattle. Yeah, I wouldn't start him. Gardner Minshew against Vegas. No, I wouldn't start him either. Mason Rudolph, Will Levis, Jake Browning. I don't think I need to tell you about those guys. So that should help you with the quarterback one was pretty easy. To be honest with you, there's a couple of stickers, but nothing really to be concerned about. Let's move on to running back. Okay, here are the ones that are easy starts. Christian McCaffrey. Kyron Williams, Rashad White, Jonathan Taylor. Yeah, it's just going to be a little. I don't know, man. You're going to start him. You're going to start Jonathan Taylor, but you're going to be nervous. Jahmyr Gibbs, and David Montgomery. Okay, these are guys that their trends are showing really well, but they're playing against Dallas, and Dallas needs to win. Man. You're gonna get solid. I don't think these are gonna be like put you over the edge situation, but they're not. They shouldn't kill you. We already talked about Travis Etienne, DeAndre Swift against Arizona. Holy mackerel, that's gonna be a great setup for him. That's what I think they're gonna do. I think that like Jalen Hurts is an okay start, but I don't think that Jalen Hurts is going to do as well as you're hoping for, because they're not going to want to hurt him, man. Especially if Dallas Cowboys lose today, if they lose today, if Detroit wins today, expect it to be nothing but DeAndre Swift. Yeah, a running game, trying to preserve Jalen Hurts for the playoff push. Because then at that point, they pretty much have been guaranteed the bye week. So why put Jalen Hurts in harm's way? And they did that last year, guys. They did that last year. So yeah, but DeAndre Swift is a good start. James Cook. Okay, yeah, he's looking good. I would not start Kenneth Walker or Zach Charbonnet, mainly because it's a tough situation with Pittsburgh. It's a tough defense, right? But also you just don't know what's going to happen. Kenneth Walker could play a little bit. They could Zach Charbonnet could take all the work, or maybe he doesn't, But if Kenneth Walker doesn't play, then just Zach Charbonnet definitely isn't play. He's going to be the only one there. So volume is king. So I think that's a great thing. Raheem Mostert is going to be a good start. Same thing with Bijan Robinson. Yeah, I would make sure and go ahead and start him against Chicago. It's unfortunate I didn't do the weather first, because there is weather in that game, which always leans towards the running backs, and so yeah, Bijan. I like Bijan this week. Alvin Kamara, I already spoke about him. He'll do fine if he can get over his sniffles. Hopefully he can. Ezekiel Elliott's against a Buffalo again. Volume is king. You're going to start that dude. Same thing with Ty Chandler against Green Bay. I think that's gonna be a great start, man. Yeah, that's gonna be a great setup. Ty Chandler against Green Bay. Dude, Green Bay's not very good against the run, and they're starting a rookie. Vikings are starting a rookie quarterback. Says they're gonna show that they're going to be leaning on the running back position. So yeah, Ty Chandler I think is gonna be great. Javonte Williams against the Chargers. Yes, yes. Don't even think about it. Just play him. Let's see. I already talked about Clyde Edwards-Helaire, especially if. Pacheco is out, then Hilaire is a great start against Cincinnati. Already talked about Josh Jacobs and Zamir White. If Josh Jacobs is in, play Josh Jacobs. If he's out, play Zamir White. Nice and simple. Hopefully you have him if you have Josh Jacobs. If you don't, you're getting everything you deserve. You should have picked him up a while ago. Joe Mixon against Kansas City is always a good start. And Derrick Henry against Houston, it'd be difficult to stop. To sit Derrick Henry. Here's one that I absolutely love. I absolutely love this one next. This is like as much as I love the Ty Chandler and DeAndre Swift play. Okay, Najee Harris, right? So he's been running very well. And if you look back on Seattle's defense, the running back that they have problems containing are power backs, and he is a power back. You saw that one play where he like got hit and he just moved the whole pile, and then boom, he moved through the pile. He's like, that guy's a power back, man. So yeah, so Najee Harris I think is a fantastic play. If he's on your bench, make sure to get him in your lineup. Find a spot. You'll be happy that you did. Austin Eckler against Denver. That offense stinks, but Denver stinks against the run. I mean, it's going to be a poop fest anyway. So yeah, go ahead and play Austin Eckler. Chuba Hubbard against Jacksonville, I think is a great. Just based on volume alone, he's a great play. Saquon against the Rams. Yeah, now the Rams, they're pretty good against the run. Okay, but again, volume is king. So you'd put Barkley in there. James Conner against Philadelphia. It's mainly because of his pass catching. That's what it's always been, and now it's time. He's been failing all year, but now he's picking back up. I think you can trust James Conner. Devon Achane. Now that's the one that's really weird. Okay, first you would say, okay, well no, it's not good. Okay, because of the Dallas setup. Well, now that Jalen Waddle's out, all right. He's lines up. He's like the pass catching back, right? He's lined up as the pass catcher, right? So logic dictates they should be lining him up more as a pass catcher. So I think Devon Achane would be a fantastic flex. Let's see here. Tony Pollard against Detroit. No, no. They give the Lions give up the fewest fantasy points against running back. Won't do that. Won't do that. Aaron Jones against Minnesota. Okay, Vikings are tough against the run in general. Okay, now it's a split with AJ Dillon, so both those guys are not good starts. Gus Edwards, man, he's turned back into a pumpkin. Devin Singletary. I love Devin Singletary this week. All right, so I know that you're like, okay, well, the Titans, they tightened up against the run, even though they have injuries and all that stuff. No. 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks. Okay, 2 weeks ago, Devin Singletary ran all over Tennessee. Just 2 weeks ago. All right, now they're at home. Don't overthink it. Devin Singletary is going to be great. All the backfield of the Bears, I'm not even looking at that. I'm not even looking at it. Not even looking at it. Brian Robinson Jr. and Antonio Gibson against San Francisco. How do you like that? How's that sound coming off my tongue? Terrible, right? Right. Go with that feeling. Sit him. Jaylen Warren against Seattle. All right. Yeah, I guess he's a fine flex. If you're happy with what you're getting out of him, that's fine. I still think that between the two, I think it's going to be it's going to be Najee Harris just because of the power situation. And you saw last week that Najee got 19 carries. Okay, and so yeah, that's gonna be good for for the Steelers. Tajay Spears, no, he's a sit. Yeah, you're not even looking his direction in championship week. All right, okay, let's go ahead and let's move on to let's see here. Let's move on to wide receivers. Okay, all right. So here are the easy starts. Easy starts. CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra St. Brown, of course, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk. Whoo! Both those guys are against Washington. Oh, that's going to be so nice. That's going. Hopefully, if you have either Samuel or Ayuk, you should be happy against Washington. And I would say more Ayuk than Samuel, because Ayuk looks like to be the number one pass catching back. So yeah, so I think he's going to be the one that's going to do really well. But Debo is a good start too. Mike Evans, actually, absolutely. I mean, he's an easy start. Puka Nacua, even though Puka Nacua is considered to be questionable, they're playing against the Giants. And I think he's going to go out there and play. They need him. He plays through injuries, and they're the Rams they're optimistic that he's going to play. So Puka Nacua is a good play. Chris Olave, all healed, and against the Rams with Derek Carr heating up, yes please. Devontae Smith against Arizona. The only problem, like I said, I mean the matchup is good. All right, I just think it's going to be a solid, but I don't. I would say like 10 points. 10 points, Devonta Smith, right? Because it seems true to me that they're going to be running it more. That's just what it seems like to me. This is what I'm going off of, all right? If you have him in your lineup, chances are you're going to play him. You're going to be like, what the hell are you talking about, Brian? You're stupid. Well, maybe I am. Okay, but I'm just telling you how I feel, all right? And the whole point of the show is to give you just my thoughts on it to help you make good decisions. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, just good decisions. Helping you make good decisions. Justin Jefferson against Green Bay. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Deja vu, everybody. Deja vu. Oh my gosh. Don't play him. Don't play him. Sit Justin Jefferson. Listen to me. Sit Justin Jefferson. Why? Because I think it was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, it was Justin Jefferson against Green Bay in the championship week with Munt. Munt was the quarterback. He just started. He was his first week. Okay, filling in. Okay, so and Jefferson did awful. Same setup. Okay, so I myself am superstitious. Not superstitious. I look at history. To me, that's speaking history. So that's history talking. Let's look at today, 2023, on week 17. There's no Jair Alexander. He has been suspended for that stupid thing he did in the huddle. So, I still wouldn't start Justin Jefferson. I wouldn't, but he's not a bad start. He's not a bad start. I'm just not confident because of being burned in the past, and I would hate for that to happen to me again after I avoided it. I won, this ring. This ring. I won this ring from that decision. From that decision of not starting Justin Jefferson and putting in somebody else who happened to be Amon-Ra St. Brown, but still, that was before he broke out. Point is that, yeah, look at trends. That's a bad situation. I'm recommending, or I am suggesting, sitting Justin Jefferson. A.J. Brown, again, same situation. He's connected to it's the same way I'm looking at Jalen Hurts, the same way I'm looking at Devonta Smith. Okay, it's the same situation. Same situation, all right? So here's what it looks like. It seems true to me that there's not going to be a very big pie for passing, okay, for Philadelphia in this game. That it seems true to me that they're going to be running more, all right? So if you have a small pie of passing and then you divide it in half between Smith, or even more, okay, between Smith, Swift, Goddard, and Brown, you can see where I'm going here in championship week. All right, I'm not thinking. I don't think that unless he does a breakaway, but not on volume, not on overuse. Do I see AJ Brown scoring well? It just if he break, like, basically he's a big tank, so he could catch a ball and they just don't tackle him. That could happen, right? So it's possible. Okay, he's not a must sit, but I'm just trying to tell you that I don't think he's going to explode. Okay, so it just be cautious, be concerned, be worried about that. Rashee Rice, you have to start him. Stephon Diggs, you have to start him. Devontae Adams against Indianapolis. Again, these are guys that you have to start that are nervy starts. Yeah, Rashee Rice is a nervy start. Devontae Adams is a nervy start. Stephon Diggs now is a nervy start, but I would still go ahead and start all three of them, but just be scared of them. Be scared. I would, yeah, especially the Rashee Rice. That just makes me nervous. DJ Moore. DJ Moore, I would sit him. I would sit DJ Moore. All right. He's banged up, and it's gonna be cold. And cold weather really aggravates injuries, so that might not be good. I already talked to you about Calvin Ridley. It's a bad setup with Carolina. They'll probably be running more. That's why ETN's in play. T. Higgins is a must start. Michael Pittman is a must start. DeAndre Hopkins against Houston. I would start it just because of the fact that Hopkins is playing against Houston in Houston. All right, I'm a romantic in that way, so put him in the flex, see what happens. But. And also Amari Cooper just torched this defense. So yeah, DeAndre Hopkins is a very strong flex play in my opinion. Deontay Johnson, yeah, sit him. Ever since the quarterback change, he's been nothing. He's probably one of these guys you can drop, considering it's week 17 and you might need something. He's not going to hurt you. He's not going to help you. He's not going to hurt you. Same thing with Terry McLaurin. He's in the same boat. Chris Godwin. Yeah, Chris Godwin against Jacksonville. He would be a fine start, a fine flex if you're backed up into a corner. Nico Collins, all this time without talking about Nico Collins and Noah Brown. Those guys are must starts in my opinion. All right, Tennessee's terrible against the pass. Houston's pissed. CJ Stroud is back. All right, and Collins and Brown, I think, are going to both have great games this week. 2 weeks ago when they met, Collins was out. Brown exploded. I expect to see the same thing, like as far as high wide receiver usage. One thing that you did see with Brown last couple weeks ago was not only because he was getting highly targeted because Collins wasn't there, but his speed. His speed was beating the secondary of the Tennessee Titans, and Stroud is great at long bombs. That's why Tank Dell did fantastic. So I think Noah Brown is going to be a fantastic start this week. Same thing with Nico Collins, Tyler Lockett, Zay Flowers. These are safe starts. These are guys that shouldn't hurt you. They should be solid, but not really bad. Zay Flowers is a little. I would play Noah Brown over Zay Flowers. Mainly because of I'm concerned about Flowers. He didn't practice all week, then finally practiced on Friday. Did the same thing last week, and when he did that, he did produce, but he had his lowest snap percentage of the year. So they were conservating him. All right, so they were trying to make it easy on his situation. Now that was his ankle. Now he has a calf. All right, so it's. Yeah, it's just a nervy start. I mean, you can start him. I'm starting him, but I'm just expecting something. I'm hoping for solid, somewhere between 10 and 15 points, and that's all I'm hoping for. Anything past that is fantastic. Adam Thielen against Jacksonville. Yeah, how about this guy? Yeah, so it just seems like he's going to be. It just seems like again trends. If you're backed up in a corner, I would start him. But I would not be excited about starting him. Jaden Reed, I think I've already spoke about. Reed is a good start. Brandon Cooks. Now the Lions, they give up a lot of points to key wide receivers in every game. All right, so is it going to be CeeDee Lamb? Is it going to be Brandon Cooks? All right, if you roll those bones and the bones in your mind come up Brandon Cooks, then go for him. It's just that he's very boomer bust. Just remember that. So if you have a solid lineup, this is a good flex guy because he's a guy that could pop and give you numbers that excites you. Rashid Shaheed, I would sit him. Because he's like the same thing. He's a boomer bust type of guy, but he's exactly the same thing as Brandon Cooks, honestly. Exactly the same thing. So roll them bones And if they come out, Shaheed is going to do well, then go with the base boom or bust. Romeo Dobbs, you already know how I feel about him. That's a little personal. It's just hard. It's just hard to trust him. It's just really hard to trust him, especially now Jaden Reed's going to be back, and especially if Wicks is going to be back. Greg Dortch, I think, is going to be an okay start in deeper leagues. Jamison Williams, he's too boomer bust for me. I would sit him. Jordan Addison, if he plays, I don't know if he's going to play or not. Yeah, did I mention? Yeah, I did mention Jordan Addison, and I think that he is a probable to play. So so let's just say he does play. If he plays, I would sit him because of the quarterback situation. Darius Slayton is also a sit. I'm not going to waste time with him. DJ Chark, that was nice. That was nice last week. Okay, that's it. I'm not trusting that. That 1 week does not make a trend. Okay, it doesn't. All right. Let's see. Drake London against Chicago. It's gonna be a weather game, so I wouldn't trust that. George Pickens against Seattle. How about last week? Oh my gosh, Pickens is back. Pickens is back. Pickens is back. Sure. Sure. If you want to trust it, but not 1 week. 1 week does not make a trend. I wouldn't start him in a championship game. If you're playing just for fun, go ahead, whatever, have fun with it. But no, not if my ring is on the line. Jacoby Myers, all right, against Indianapolis. I'm not going to do it. I barely wanted to start Adams. Why would I want to start Myers? Demario Douglas. Demario. Am I starting Demario? Yes, Demario can be a fine start, against the Buffalo Bills, but they do give it up. They do give it up a little in the slot. So he's a low ceiling play, but start the Demario. Yeah. Tyler Boyd. No. I would not start Tyler Boyd. Curtis Samuel. Jacoby Brissett's throwing elsewhere, so not even. Gabe Davis. Oh my gosh. So Gabe Davis, boom, bust. Boom, bust. Boom, bust. Boom, bust, right? Then boom, last week. So we haven't ever had boom. So might be a bust. Yeah, I would sit Gabe Davis. And Odell Beckham Jr., boy, that was fun. Yeah, but, that was fun, but it's over. Yeah, but it's over now. Yeah, so no, don't play OBJ. Yeah, so that time is done. His birthday's over, so they're not going to be hyper-targeting him. And they have a very tough matchup against Miami. All right, so let's go ahead and let's go to tight ends. All right, let's start with tight ends. Okay, these are guys here are the ones that are like must starts. Okay, the one that I think is number one must start. George Kittle first, and then Trey McBride. Okay, because Kittle's playing against Washington. Trey McBride is playing against Philadelphia. Okay, so I think that those two are 1 and 2. Then it would be Sam Laporta, because I'll be honest with you, Kittle, McBride, and Laporta I think are all on the same level. Because here's the thing, that the Cowboys are really good at defending the slot. Okay, and that's where Amon-Ra St. Brown is. So they're going to. So I see Goff having a big game, and he's going to have to point to somebody, and I think it's going to be Laporta, right? I think Laporta's going to have a great game today. So if they're going to win, if the Lions win this week, it's going to be because of Laporta. So again, Kittle, McBride, Laporta somewhere in the bunch, and then it would be Jake Ferguson. And then I would put in Isaiah Likely. Okay, these are all how I feel about him. Evan Ingram. Okay, Evan Ingram I think is a great play. Then there's probably Travis Kelce. Yeah, Travis Kelce. Yeah, dude. He, if you're in a keeper league, I think you found somebody you're not going to keep, right? He is 100% like in Hollywood mode. He's won his rings. He's gotten all of his endorsements. He's got his money. He's got his rock star girlfriend, fiance now. And so why, right? And he's banged up, and he just doesn't have that. Like I'm telling you, man, I'm older, dude, and you can still do everything that you did when you're younger. When you're older, you just got to work harder at it. Okay, it's a longer preparation and longer recovery time. That's all it is. But you can still do it. Okay, just if you want to do it, or not, if you want to put that much work in or not, right? I think Travis Kelsey's like, hey, I'm done. Whatever. I mean, he's going to try. They are still in a good. They are going to be going to the playoffs, Kansas City. But as far as like championship week, starting him against Cincinnati, I'm concerned with him. I would still start him, but I would not be thinking like he's going to grab me like 40 points or something like that. So it's going to be hopefully I'm hoping for a solid start. That's why I didn't put him as a sit. I'm just telling you about where I'm putting all these people where I think they're going to score higher than him. But all these are good starts. Tucker Kraft against Minnesota. He's been good. I mean he's solid. So if you're having to start tight ends, then you have a tight end specific position. Then Tucker Kraft isn't bad. Kyle Pitts, I would sit him because of the weather and his situation. Cole Kmet, same situation, weather situation. Gerald Everett against Denver. Yeah, this is the best tight end matchup. Okay, so why would you start him? So yeah, I think he's a fine start. Juwan Johnson, no, I'm not. I'm sitting him. Chigakonkwo, he scored last week. All right, and the Texans are a weak against tight ends, so I think Chigakonkwo is a fine start. Dalton Schultz against Cincinnati. Against Cincinnati. What is Cincinnati? What is that? Yeah. Dalton Schultz against Tennessee. Sorry, man. It's the last week of the season. We're all kind of dinged up here, man. All right, so Dalton Schultz against Tennessee. Yeah, he was solid last week. It could, he'll be solid fine. Darren Waller against the Rams. Okay, so Darren Waller against the Rams looks good, but Daniel Bellinger is still out there. Okay, so this isn't what it was at the beginning of the season. Waller's coming into a situation. He's an okay start. Not somebody I'm excited. Dalton Kincaid, I wouldn't start him, or Pat Freiermuth. Or Logan Thomas. Sorry. Oh yeah, I wouldn't start those guys. Yeah, those are sits to me. Taysom Hill is weird. Hill is weird. Okay, if I would say that if Kamara doesn't play, then put in Taysom Hill. All right, sneaky start. I would put in Taysom Hill if Kamara doesn't play. All right, but if Kamara does play, then Taysom Hill nothing. Okay, so that's exactly how I would look at it. Weird to say running back and all that stuff and then play tight end, but that's Taysom Hill. That's Voldemort for you. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and let's start with let's go on to the defenses. So the defenses, these are the easy ones. The top number one easy play 49ers, right? And Bills. Okay, so those are gonna be good. The I think those are the only ones that are like set. Maybe Texans. Texans, yeah, those three are the ones that you can start. And Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons. Those are ones that I'm saying that I recommend to start with no problem. All the other ones have warts on them. So it's 49ers, Bills, Texans, and Falcons. Those four. Those are the four that I would say. All right. So, but let's talk about the Chiefs. The Chiefs, they're not what they used to be. They're against Cincinnati. I know that's a good setup. So that's an okay start. So these are ones that you can start. That should be okay. I'm looking at the list, everybody. I'm trying to look at the list. Cowboys. Yeah, I guess but the Cowboys, the trend has been terrible. Raiders. The Raiders would be a good start. Yes, I think that would be a fine start against Indianapolis. I think they'll be fine. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, that's. I think those are the starts. But let me go ahead and address to everybody else. Let me just mention them and tell you why I'm like iffy on them. Like the Ravens against Miami. You know what? Actually, Ravens I think is going to be a good start since there's not going to be Jalen Waddle. So I think the Ravens are a good start. Let's do that. Miami Dolphins, no, they're sit. Bears, I would sit the Bears. Okay, I know everybody's saying go play the Bears. Sit them all. Start them and everything like that. I think it's going to be the direct opposite. Look at the trends. Okay, and so if you're happy with the trend of the Chicago Bears, then go ahead and play them. All right. But I'm happier with the trends of the Atlanta Falcons. They've been scoring high for the past month, but for the last 3 weeks they've been pretty strong. And they're playing against Justin Fields in Chicago where it's cold and it'll probably be light snow. We'll be talking about that here in a second, and then And then you're going to look at banged up DJ Moore, no Darnell Mooney. Cole Kmet's is gimpy. I mean, and they're strong against the run. It just set up perfectly for Falcons. So the Bears are somebody that I would recommend sitting. Eagles, same thing. Against Arizona, I understand that. And these are going to be, that could be a solid start for you. But do you really want to play around with the Eagles after last week with all that stat correcting going on with Yahoo? Holy mackerel! In one league I was in, a guy went into the to the championship game, stat correction where they took off 2 points. Then he lost the game for about 3 hours, and then they stat corrected again, adding him the 2 points, and he's back into the championship. It's the craziest thing. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's not the Eagles' fault, but still against Arizona, it looks like that Arizona's just gonna just play. They're just gonna throw with they're gonna have fun. But the Eagles, okay, could be a solid start. How about that? I wouldn't say they would sit. Colts is somebody that I would sit. The Jaguars are somebody that I would sit against Carolina. I know it's a good matchup, but just the Jags are leaking oil, man. They're not looking good. The Rams. The Rams would be a good start. How about that? The Rams against the Giants. I think that would be a good start. So there we go. I found another one. Yeah, I think that'd be a good strong start. I like the Raiders. The Cowboys are okay. I would sit the Packers. No Jair Alexander. No reason to play. No playoff hopes, so I wouldn't play them. Patriots at Buffalo. I just don't like going against Josh Allen. It's just not a good thing for me. So I think. Yeah, I think they got them. Yeah, I think that's all of them. So the ones that are, I was all over the place. So the ones that I think are strong starts are 49ers, Bills. These are strong starts. 49ers, Bills, the Falcons, the Texans, and the Rams. The ones that are okay starts are the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Eagles, and and the Cowboys and the Raiders. Okay, and all the other ones I'm nervous. Okay, I'm nervous about. I didn't mention Broncos, but at one point Broncos was a smash start. I even told you to pick them up about a month, 3 weeks ago to a month ago in preparation for this day. But with them starting a new quarterback, and it just looks like that there are desperate, and the Chargers defense looking like they did last week, or Chargers offense, excuse me, looking like they did last week. They didn't look too bad. It just, the Broncos are in flux, and it just, that's not something you want to depend on week 17 for the playoff for your championship, right? So all right, so I think I got it there. So let's go ahead and let's move on real quick. Let's go ahead and let's talk about some weather. Okay, let's go and get some weather going here. Yeah, it's the music. Yeah, what do you think? Yeah, let's get some music behind this stuff. Yeah. All right, here we go. So, Falcons and Bears. So, there's a chance for some light snow here with sustained winds around 10 mile an hour and gusts up to 20 mile an hour. So, that can make things really, really ugly. So, that's why I don't like Justin Fields and DJ Moore. That's why I don't like DJ Moore, because of this situation, he's banged up. So, there could be light snow and sustained winds around 10. Gusts up to 20 miles per hour. Patriots and Bills. Yeah, the winds will be mild, but there could be some light rain or snow depending on how cold it gets. Okay, it's overall it's not really too bad for Buffalo. All right, this time of year, but just keep an eye on that. If the weather gets bad. Steelers and Seahawks. Yeah, it's Seattle, so it could be raining. But it doesn't look like it's gonna be heavy and long lasting, so it might not be a problem. Bengals and Chiefs. The winds are around 10 to 15 mile an hour and temps around freezing. So it might not be the most pleasant game for fans and players, but the weather shouldn't affect fantasy. So, all right. So that was the weather. See, just a little bit of weather there. So, there we go. So hopefully that helped you out with making your decisions. And that mainly is like the kickers, especially that the Bills game. Yeah, that Bills game with the Patriots and Bills. Yeah, that is really nerve-wracking with Tyler Bass, but just keep an eye. And remember, this guy Tyler Bass has kicked many years in Buffalo, so he has dealt with a little bit of weather or two, and he's been good there. All right, so that does it. That does it for the for our final last minute start sit for the 2023 season. So hopefully it all helped. I had a lot of fun doing this. Hope you'll be back. Make sure if you enjoyed this content. All right, I will be back next year, like Frosty the Snowman. Right, whenever fantasy football comes back, I will be back, Lord willing. So make sure you hit click that like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and also click that bell. Make sure and check out highvolumemusicradio.com. It's a great radio station, and also my show, Drive Time Sports with Charlie and Brian. Yeah, every Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. on highvolumemusicradio.com or on the High Volume Music Radio app. Live interactive, so you always come out. Reach out and talk to me. I'd love to hear from you. Answer any questions you may have or just have a discussion. And also make sure to check out Connor's book, You Know Too Much, on the Amazon platform. All right, so if you haven't me, Brian, the Amigo Baldwin, so glad that I want to thank you for watching. Hope that this year is even a better year than the last. Parting shot. Of course, you know what the parting shot is. Real easy. Real easy. It's better to start, I'm doing it again, because you need to hear this now. It's better to start a good player against a great matchup than a great player against a good matchup. All right, hopefully that helps you make your decisions. All right, everybody. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Time for the last line. Remember, everyone, in fantasy football, as in life, don't dream it, be it. All right, good luck, everybody. Future champions. All right, bye-bye.